guys, it's Beverly. Okay, so I got some really good feedback about my last video. So I thought I would come on here and do another crochet time with you guys. So I finished the blanket that I was doing, the crisscross blanket that goes with the monkey. And I'll stick up a picture during this video. So here's how the monkey blanket turned out, guys. You can see, ooh, that extra light is from my computer, but you can see I have my 3 rows of doubles and then my 3 rows of the crisscross, and it came out 30 by 30. And there's the little monkey, and I'm going to take it and give it to Barb today so she can donate it. So now I'm going to give her the bear that I showed in my last video, and today she gets the monkey, and I've done all 3 of the DMC Hugs This that I bought. They do have other animals, but I got the monkey, the bear, and the dog. The monkey with his blanket. And so today is Saturday. And yesterday, Friday, I took the monkey and the bear to our crochet club, and I donated it. And there was lots of people brought stuff, and there was more people at our meeting than normal, so that was really nice. And this one lady, she crochets these little animals. Oh my gosh, they're so adorable, you guys. I mean, just unbelievable. And she said she can do 1 in a day. I don't know how she does it. She does puppies and bunnies and all kinds of different animals, and I cannot tell you how she does it, but it's gorgeous. Okay, so the next thing I'm working on, if you guys remember the advent that I did from Crochet Society, I didn't bring all the yarn in here, but I had leftovers of all the different colors. And so what I decided to do was to find a pattern so that I can incorporate all the colors. And what I did was Bella Coco has a chart on her website that shows the whole entire blanket, and it has arrows pointing to the colors of the blanket with the names of the colors on the sides. So what I decided to do was start out with her color. And so we had, she called this Royal Icing. And this one was called Foaming Shrimp. And so I did 3 rows. And this is called the Lagoon Blanket. The Lagoon Blanket is by Haley Hall. And I know that she has it listed on Ravelry. But I got this pattern free off of Bella Coco's website. But you have to sign in or, register. And then you have access to her free patterns. And so this one isn't by Sarah Jane. This one is by Haley Hall. And it's called the Lagoon Blanket. And the colors that she has, look like the ocean and the sand and stuff like that. So I just thought it would be great because it calls for the same kind of yarn and the same hook. Because I really want to use up all the yarn that I have. So isn't this coming out pretty so far? And you can see it's kind of like waves. And what you do is you do 2 doubles, 2 halves, 2 singles, 2 halves, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 2 doubles, 2 halves, 2 singles. But the problem that us United States or US users have to remember is the blanket is listed in UK terms. So that can be a little confusing. But right now, this row here, the white row that I'm on, is all half double crochets. And then we'll be incorporating this next color, which is kind of a dark gray, and it's called Humbug. And so like this brown one was called Fudge, and this green yellowy color was called some kind of apple color. And then we had gray mouse, and this peachy color was rosy peach, they called it. But I'm just, you know, I just want to do it in the colors that the other blanket was done in. So that's going to be cool. And I'm using up this yarn. Now, believe it or not, I can only go across maybe once or twice with one of these. So then I have more yarn left over. So I'm starting a log cabin blanket with the scraps of that. So wouldn't it be cool if I could get a total of 3 blankets out of that yarn? And even if I make that log cabin one, and if there's not enough yarn to make it of any size, then I could just put some white yarn or whatever around it. Now this is going to be 33 inches wide. In the pattern they listed in centimeters. 84 centimeters is actually 33 inches. I found that out. And 100 by 110 centimeters. So you guys can do the math, or we can go on Google and see how big it is. But I just want to try to use some of every color in this blanket. So that's what I'm going to work on with you guys today. But I wanted to show you my squares. So let's see how many we got. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7 completed. And then I got this much done on the next one. So that's what's going on with that. And, oh, I want to talk to you about the Ogos. The Caron Colorama Ogos. Now, I saw them for $8.99 at Joann's and Michael's on their websites, or Joann's for sure, because that's where I bought these. Because some of the Ogos are at Walmart, some are at Joann's, and some are at Michael's. So the Caron Coloramas I got at Joann's for sure. But anyway, so this hat here, I did a tutorial for it. So you'll see it on my website or on my YouTube channel. But my friend yesterday brought me this one. Now this is also with the Ogo, and it's the Fair Isle. And there's a video by Marley Bird that shows you how to make this one. It's a knitted hat, and I've never done Fair Isle. I know that Marley Bird really likes Fair Isle, and this is knitted. And so I'm going to give this one a try, because you can get 2 hats out of each Ogo. The Colorama. The other ones, I don't know. There's a red heart one, and then there's a blanket version, and I haven't got any of those. But again, they're wanting you to separate your yarn into plastic bags. If you watch my video, you'll see how I separated the yarn in plastic bags and put a ticket or a piece of paper in each bag with the color letter, so to match the pattern. So I think I'm gonna give this one a try. So let's just sit here and crochet. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to think of anything to say. So on this row here, I'm gonna tilt the camera a little bit. I know you guys can't see me crochet that much. There you go. This, I'm doing a row of half double crochets. And then the next row will be in that Humbug gray color. And I'm going to be doing the single crochet, half double crochet, triple crochet, and then back down the hill. So what's been happening since I talked to you guys last? Well, I think on Tuesday, I'm going to get that hook that I want for that retro velvet. Remember the Mary Maxim Quarterly Afghan Club? I got that retro velvet grand. And I got enough comments on that video to convince me I should make the blanket. And the girl that collects our items for the charities, she said, yeah, that she would, take it and donate it to somebody. And I don't think it's going to be that big. One of the ladies, I think it was Gerald, came on and said, the pattern says it's 42 inches wide, but I think she said hers didn't come out that wide. You only do 36 stitches across, but it's a number 7. So we'll just have to see how that goes. And then, let's see what else. Oh, my husband had to go to the doctor. His knee was just kind of bothering or catching. So he went, and it was just arthritis, and the doctor put a shot in there, and he put some ice on it for a while, and you wouldn't even know that he was having issues. So we're very thankful for that. So that worked out good. And then we found out some of our neighbors got COVID. So it's kind of an eye-opener for my husband because he doesn't really want to wear a mask. When we went to Las Vegas in October, he wore his mask. He wore it so much that he ended up having little sores on the side of his face from it rubbing or taking it on and off or whatever. Because in October when we went, it was a state law in Las Vegas that you had to wear a mask indoors, whether you were vaccinated or not. And I haven't seen the statistics for Las Vegas or for Nevada on COVID breakouts. But anyway, so it's kind of a wake-up call for him because if we're going to go on that cruise, neither one of us can test positive. So, yeah, they were having all kinds of weird, or she was having all kinds of weird symptoms, and she got a test, and it came back positive. So, but I think the worst of it's over for her. She was vaccinated and boosted, and so she did not end up in the hospital. And that's what we need to remember with these vaccines. They're not, I gotta find some scissors. They should be right here. The vaccines do not prevent you from getting COVID. They prevent you, hopefully, from going in the hospital. Come on, scissors. There they are. So, she didn't have to go to the hospital. Okay, so there's my last half double crochet on that row, and now I'm joining my humbug. And see what I do, the last stitch, I finish it with the new color. Now on this pattern, so I brought it in here, thank goodness. So I used, so now I need to start out with a chain 2. I'm working on a computer over here. Oh, and my battery's getting low. Okay, turn, change to C. So I need to chain 2 and then do a triple. Chain 2 and do a triple. Chain 2 and do a triple in the next stitch. Okay, cool. So so I think what he's going to try to do is wear his mask more often, and we're going to try to stay home and eat more meals at home instead of going out to eat. But some of the places, like we tried to go out to eat for lunch. I don't think it was yesterday. It must have been the day before. And the restaurant was closed because they didn't have enough help. So that happens a lot, I guess, these days. Okay, so I see I started with a triple and then it goes down to a single. You can see that. And that's going to make our wave. So I have to put in a stitch marker, especially since I'm talking to you guys, because some of these stitches look alike when you have to go back. Okay, so I got 2 singles, and now I'm going to do 2 halves. And then now 2 doubles. So this might be pretty boring, because I don't know that I have anything that exciting to talk about. So at this point I have 4 whips going. I have a knitted scarf. It's a keyhole scarf. And what you do is you start off with the Provincial Cast On. And the way I do my Provincial Cast On is I take a piece of yarn that is different color than the actual scarf. And so, like, for example, I'm making a navy blue scarf, so I got a red piece of yarn. And then what you do is you use that off-color yarn as your bottom of your cast on. So the stitches that are sitting up on the needle are the color of the scarf, but the loops underneath the needle are the contrasting color. And what you do is you make the scarf 1/2 of the whole scarf. Okay? Then you finish it off. And then what you do is you get your working, you cut it, you got your working yarn separate. And you get a darning needle and you pull out that contrasting color and put the loops on your needle, your knitting needle, and you do that. So I'm supposed to have 24. So I put 1 stitch on, then I take the darning needle, pull out the contrasting color. Oh, there's another stitch, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And so then after you go through all that, you're counting to make sure you have 24, in my case. And then you turn it around and you just start the same pattern on the other side of the scarf. So you've done it like halfway and it comes down, and now you're working on the other half and it comes down. And it's the Provincial Cast On. To me, a lot of people make it harder than it is, just like the magic loop or the adjustable ring and the slip knot. People, to me, they make it harder than it has to be. To me, the Provincial Cast On, I take the 2 yarns, okay, and I tie a slip knot. and I just have a little short tail. You know, like when you crochet, you do your slip knot. You just leave the short tail. You don't have a great big long tail. Well, I tie those two yarns together in a slip knot. I separate them. And like I said, I make my stitches, and the contrasting yarn is on the bottom. The yarn for the scarf, the loops are on the top of your needle. And it just, to me, it just works out so good. And then like you pull it out, and then you just keep on keeping on. And there is a slight, it's not really a seam, but it's just a little indentation where you can see where you've done that. And, you know, but the average person is not going to be worried about it, because it's going to be in the collar of your coat or, you know, something like that. And those type of scarves, I'm real proud of the fact that some police officers in Chicago ordered them from me a couple years ago, and they're small enough that they can wear them under their uniform. And I'm just, you know, so pleased and honored that I was able to, you know, make them some scarves. And so that's one of my whips. It's a knitted keyhole scarf with a Provincial Cast On. Then that this blanket, and the squares for the cruise, and that log cabin blanket that I started. Now the log cabin blanket, I never have made one before, so I'll link the pattern or the tutorial below. The woman, I think, is from England, but I believe she has a Scottish accent or Irish accent. Now, when she's talking, she does do it in UK terms. The log cabin is in UK terms. But she will on occasion mention, you know, in the US it's called a double, or, you know, but she calls them mostly triples, like the UK terms suggest. So I'm making that, because I really, like I said, I really want to get my money's worth out of the yarn that I spent on my Christmas Advent. And the skeins were little. I wonder if it says on here how many ounces they were. 33 grams. 33 grams. Because, see, it came from England. Because Bella Crochet Society is in England. See, I keep going back because if I talk, I'll forget what I'm doing. So I gotta do one more. So anyway, yeah, one more half and then 2 singles. So I really wish you guys would put some of your stuff up on my Facebook page. It's my group page is Beverlys Crafts on Facebook, and there's a link below the video. And just show me what you guys are making. Whoop. And then, so one of the charities that we made some stuff for, they bought us some yarn. Isn't that wonderful? It's really nice. I mean, from what I hear, it's only like 4 skeins of yarn, but that's so thoughtful that they know that there is a price that we pay for the yarn. So that's nice. Because a lot of people take stuff for granted, you know. And so then, let's see, today's Saturday, so on the 17th, Monday, I should start hearing from people that want to be in our craft show. So that should be fun. It wasn't too bad organizing the tables and stuff. But there was always people that complain, you know, so. And then, I don't know if I told you guys before, but we had, the tables are like 8 foot, I guess. And we had this lady buy rent a table, just like anybody. Well, she shows up, and there's 2 chairs behind each table. Okay? So they rented 1 table, and they got 2 chairs. They had 6 people behind their table. So that meant that they were crowding out people on both sides. And they just had so much stuff on their table. I mean, it was all homemade stuff, but there was just so much on there, and it's so crammed in there, and so many people that it was just uncomfortable to watch. So, and they had to sign up that the sale of their items went to charity, but it didn't say what charity. But we don't screen that kind of stuff anyway. But they were encroaching on the people that had tables next to them, and that's just not right. So, because they paid their money too, and at one point it got to be so spread out that the people next to him just gave up and said, "Here, you can have a portion of my table." Then those people that gave up a portion of their table, they decided they were going to leave early, which was fine because I knew them personally, and I know that he has health issues, and I was just glad to see him out and about. So when they went to go get their car and pull it up and started carrying stuff out the front door, these people started spreading out their stuff on that table, and my people hadn't had a chance to even get their tablecloth off their table before they started spreading out. And so when my friend came back, she said, I need my tablecloth. And the woman said, "Oh, here." And she just kind of jerked it out from under everything. It just wasn't cool. So needless to say, I won't be asking those people to come back. Because it just wasn't cool. And then when I greeted them when they first got there and thanked them for being a part of our craft show, they looked at me like I was weird or something. I didn't expect them, to hug me or give me a big thank you, but they just didn't say anything. And then because there were so many of them and they were trying to walk between the tables, when they were walking between the tables, they were almost jerking off the tablecloth off of another lady's table as they were, trying to skinny by between the tables. It just wasn't nice. So they won't be there this time, because I'm in charge. So we'll see what happens this time. And then I mentioned before, I have a craft show in April at our another community center, so we'll be doing that. And so I don't know that I have that much exciting stuff to say to you guys. I always feel like I have to have something new that I bought to show you guys. But I really don't want to buy any yarn. I'm trying, like we say that we want to use up what we have, but I do. And for those of you that followed me through the Advent, the box that this yarn came in, I had 25 little boxes and a treat in each box. The box I'm going to give to my friend Sue, because she has all kinds of sewing and knick-knack projects, and she has a bigger house than me. So she has a craft room. She has a 3rd bedroom. And so I'm so glad that it's going to go to a good home, because it's so sweet, it's so cute, and it wasn't cheap. so I'm glad that she consented to give the box a home. So did you guys see the gnomes that Summer's Tips and Stitches is making? They're Valentine gnomes. And they look so cute. I think I like the one with the longer legs, because the one with the longer legs is kind of like a shelf sitter. And I really like it. But I haven't decided to make one yet. And Christy's Creations has started a new bracket for Valentine's Day, and she has all kinds of nifty gifts that you guys can win. So you might want to check her out. Let's make sure I didn't make a mistake. Nope. And trying to think what else is going on. I think that's about it. Bye, guys.